Welcome back to the Franchise Legends podcast, where we spotlight the leaders, personalities, and innovators driving the franchising industry forward. Today's guests bring both serious franchise expertise and some undeniable stage presence. I'm excited to welcome Brian Robinson to the show. If you've spent even a few minutes on Brian's LinkedIn, you've probably seen him in action, serving as MC alongside the CEO at five-star franchising events, and even breaking out some memorable dance moves that prove franchise leadership doesn't have to be boring. Beyond the energy and charisma, Brian brings real insight into the franchise growth, brand leadership, and building culture at scale. Today, we'll talk strategy, lessons learned, and what it takes to stand out in a competitive franchise landscape. Brian, welcome to Franchise Legends. We're glad to have you. Hello, Brian, and welcome to Franchise Podcast, where legends are interviewed, and you, as Director of Franchise Development at 1-800-Packouts, have been chosen to join our Franchise Legends. We want to hear all about you, your legacy, and your impact. And so welcome, and tell me about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Brian Robinson. As you say, I am Director of Franchise Development at 1-800-Packouts. I've been with them for about 5 months now. I shifted. Before then, I was with another company for 13 years, military brat, moved all over the place with my family. And I'm now in Birmingham, Alabama.
Wow, down in the South.
Yes. It's cold here also still.
Oh, well, you never know which way on this weather, what you're going to get. So your story is very insightful and your success is inspiring. Tell me about your role as Director of Franchise Development. How do you personally measure your success?
Great question. For me, because I've been in different facets of the business, I look at success as how they're doing in 2 or 3 years. Did I change their journey? Did I take them from possibly corporate refugees to entrepreneurship, creating revenue streams that have stabilized, and again, creating generational wealth? That's the key, is to give people back their time and make sure they make the right decision, because sometimes it's not just about them, it's also about their family. So for me, personal success is, are they better now after I've met them?
Wow. Yeah, I really like that. That's a pivotal point to come to in your life. It sounds like maybe you were inspired by your own story to embrace that theory as well. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sports fan, of course, and the Mamba mentality is what I use now. And that's one of the things that I love about 1-800-Packouts and also 5-star is put your best foot forward. Give your all in whatever you want to be successful in, from a personal to a professional. There's no greater feeling than putting in the effort and getting those results back. So I had to shift my mentality a couple of years ago and just ask myself as a person, am I doing everything I can do to be successful in whatever I want to be successful in? And when you change that mentality, you start seeing results and you know it's worth it. And more importantly, you deserve it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree with that. That vision is so important. And then also believing that you can achieve what you're saying you're going to do, and you believe in yourself just as much as you believe in others. So I am curious. I've heard you reference on LinkedIn this story about real success. And how do you see your role helping franchise owners build something bigger than just a business? You've mentioned legacy, you've mentioned generational wealth. Tell me more about that.
Well, first off, I have to believe in the brand myself. Would I purchase this brand? And it's a yes. And did I tell them the hard truth, or did I just give them the upside? Did I place them in a position where realistically they can win? And so that's how I measure success. Again, coming back 2 or 3 years, we're excited. We're not just talking about business, but we're also talking about life just in general. So that's me. I want to take the ego out and not say, did I sell, but more importantly, did they succeed? And when you do that, you have the right mentality there.
Right, absolutely. So you're not just awarding franchises. You're not just asking any individual to say, "Hey, come join us and be a leader here." You're looking for building those leaders and building those operators. And how do you find the right partner for 1-800-Packouts and 5-star?
Well, it's a combination. Of course, you have the brokers, the consultants, and the coaches that do a great job and work hand in hand with them. But once they get into the fold, we want to make sure we set the expectations and let them know, hey, this is what's going to go on. But more importantly, we have a playbook and let them know, hey, These are your strengths. These are your weaknesses. We want to highlight those strengths and then fill in the gaps and surround you with the right individuals to uplift those cons. And so again, it's a unified approach, not just from me, but also from the brokers, the coaches, the consultants, but also from the development side and the operations side. I use the 4x1 relay mentality. We're passing the baton to each individual, each team to make it a smooth transition across around the track.
Wow. Yeah. And that sounds like a very high standard of accountability that you ask for your owners and operators to carry themselves. And giving those owners and operators that autonomy in their local markets, tell me about how they are served through your vision and your support, but also be autonomous in their own market.
So the beautiful thing is once you come into 1-800 Packouts, you're just not coming into our family, you're coming into the five-star franchising family. And we're able to leverage the 1,500 locations across North America. And so in each part of the country, it may be a little bit different from the Southeast to the Northeast to the West to even Texas. I like to say it's their own world down there. But again, it's going to be different. So what we do is we do have a playbook and we want you to follow it, but also we want you to sometimes color outside the lines because you think this may or may not work. That's the one thing great about our playbook is it never stays standard. We're always evolving it to make it bigger and better and safer and faster and cheaper for franchisees that are coming in each time.
Absolutely. So when you are looking for an owner operator and maybe they're exploring their opportunities, when you explain that opportunity that 1-800 Packouts or 5-star also offers, tell me what that model is that you say this is what differentiates us from other models, or this is what makes us uniquely franchisable.
So for me personally, I had the aha moment when I came into 1-800 Packouts, the property content restoration. For me, it's the items that turn a house into a home, a building into a business, sentimental items that sometimes have no price tag, that family heirloom, that vase, that piano, that guitar that your great-great-grandfather helped you learn how to play. Those are the items that we come in, we restore, we save, we renew. And then we store it while the mitigation is being done at the location. We save those memories that can be passed down generation to generation. It's a niche market. It's a part of a $30 billion industry. There's plenty of white space, and the competition really isn't there. So I tell people all the time, they sometimes don't know where to go. They want to change their life. They want to change and flip that page to a new chapter. Sometimes they just don't know how. My goal is to bring them in and give them a comfortable platform to look at their options and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and those timeless pieces have no price tag, like you said. So just tell me a little bit about 1-800 Packouts. Tell me what you do. Tell me what the business does.
Absolutely. So whenever someone hears restoration, they automatically think of ServPro. And that's not what we do. We do work hand in hand with them. But what we do during the most stressful times in someone's life, from a fire to a flood to a pipe burst, we come in there and we invoice those items.
Okay.
And once we invoice it, we use a system that 90% of insurance companies already use. Once we invoice those items, we properly take them over to the warehouse with trained operators. Once we get over to the warehouse, we have specialized equipment that we're able to clean, restore, renew those items from a hard surface to a light surface. Depending on the material, we know exactly how to clean that item. Once we clean that item, we store it. And that's where the residual income comes in. Because every month it's in there, the insurance company is paying for that one. And as you know, restoration can be between 3, 12 to 15 months. And we have it stored in a climate controlled spot while they're taking care of that house or that building. Once that's repaired, we move the items back.
Yeah. So as a new prospective franchise owner, tell me about what kind of misconceptions that they may have about restoration or specialty service franchises.
Great question. The first one is we're not in competition with the TPAs, the third-party administrators. That's the ServPros, the restoration ones, the Puro Cleans. We're partners in crime with them. That peanut butter to that jelly, that Jack and Jill, that Jordan to that Pippin. We work hand in hand with them. And there is a difference. I think when they hear restoration, they automatically think, oh, ServPro. Now, we do work with them, but we take care of those items in that building or that house. Just think about taking a house, flipping it upside down, all the items fall out. We're the ones taking care of those.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And then you have a system that not only takes care of them, but stores them. restores them, and then does delivery come along with that back into the new homeowner's home, or how does that work?
We're a one-stop shop. We're going to come out there with the truck. We're going to have about 4 to 6 operators that are trained, first off, how to move the items. We don't want to make them worse. Then we get them over to the warehouse, and then we clean them. They've also been trained. We have refresher courses all the time. And then as we have it stored, when it's time to return them, those same operators return those items to that house or that building.
Wow. So it sounds like the business model is tied closely to insurance carriers and homeowners. So your reputation is everything. And how do you, at 1-800-Packouts, how do you protect that customer experience so that that brand continues to grow and scale?
We keep a finger on the pulse at all times. Again, it's a partnership between the development side, but also the operations side. We teach that franchisee how to respond to any kind of Google responses, comments there. And we look at it. The average Google review, I believe, is 4.2. We don't want to be average. We want to be above that. So we go above and beyond, honestly, to make sure we did everything in our capacity to make sure they had a pleasant experience. And then we do aftercare. We come back and say, hey, is there anything you need to talk about? Anything we need to correct? So it's always keeping a finger on the pulse and making sure we humanize the experience, because again, this is during the most stressful times in someone's life. We want to make sure we at least take some of that stress away.
Yes, absolutely. And just help me understand, as far as a new business owner or a new franchisee, when they are looking at starting a new process, you've already got the process in place. So the coaching, the mentorship is there, the systems behind the scenes of finding those leads or those customers that may have an insurance claim, or tell me about those types of processes that are in place to make sure that that franchisee is successful.
Yeah, we have a playbook, and we're continuously evolving that playbook. What we need individuals that want to be in that community. We want them shaking hands, smiling, kissing babies. We want them talking to those local tradesmen, those carpenters, those electricians, because what we found out is people trust what they know. It doesn't matter how much marketing we do, and we do a very great amount of marketing, but people trust that community. And what we do is we give them a playbook how to talk to individuals. This is a B2B business. And so talk to the business owners, letting them know, hey, we are here to help you out. My goal is always to leave someone better than how I found them in any capacity in my life. And that's what 1-800-Packouts wants to do. We want to, one, take some stress away, bring hope back during some of the most stressful times. So again, we're always looking at the systems and how we can make it easier, better for them to understand and follow the guideline and the life cycle to get them from point A to point Z.
Well, Brian, just from our conversation, I can tell that you're passionate about what you do, that your business has high integrity and rated high above average as well. And just, I want to say a personal thank you to you for just being the person that you are and for leading the teams that you lead. So thank you again. And I have a closing question. I like to ask one word answer for these questions. I'm curious, which do you think is more important, discipline or motivation?
Oh, if you're disciplined, then that's going to motivate you to do everything you need to do. So I'd say discipline.
Okay, awesome. All right. Which do you think is more important, process or people?
Oh, that's a good one. Process or people? I'm going to have to say the right people will follow the process.
There you go. I love it. All right. Well, Brian, that's all that I have today. And I just really appreciate your insight, your business acumen, and also your momentum that you create in the landscape for new business owners and those to be successful and to touch other people's lives as well, and to secure those emotional items that we may all have ties to in our homes. So thank you again, Brian, for making a difference. And I am so happy that I connected with you on LinkedIn and I got to see that dance video.
Oh, don't bring that up. Listen, that's what we do at 1-800-Packouts 5-star. We work hard, but we have opportunities just to let our hair down and just have a moment just to appreciate the year and the people around you. We do it. Scott Abbott, the CEO of 5-star, let me MC, and we had a nice little dance off, and it was just a good opportunity to have fun, let loose, and just cut a rug, as they would say.
Absolutely. Well, again, this was a pleasure meeting you and speaking with you today, and thank you for sharing all of your insight.
Thank you so much.
Continue being inspiring.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Talk to you soon.